This video is being sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Gather your friends together and take on tough enemy. Okay, look, I'm just kidding. It's not sponsored at all by Raid Shadow Legends. But that is the topic of today's video. I've seen a lot of people online talking about this situation and controversy. And I want to give my 2 cents on if it's okay for content creators to be talking about video games as advertisements. I'm going to give you the TLDR up front in this video. Is it okay for content creators to be advertising video games and making money off them? Hell yeah, it is. But I prefer it to be a full disclosure type thing. Like, I don't care if the content creator plays the game or not. If they're making money off of talking about it and they say that, more power to them. I don't get why people get so pissed at these content creators for hawking products that they are clearly saying that they are hawking. Like, it's not an issue to me. A lot of people are giving Modern Vintage Gamer an issue with talking about Raid Shadow Legends a few weeks ago. And even on the Spawncast, I know Jason from Overthink brought this up and made a great point about how they were giving him such a hard time, like joking around with them and making him feel bad about it. Because, I mean, regardless of if Modern Vintage Gamer actually plays it or not, it's not the issue. He has a channel. It's, as far as I know, his full-time gig, and he needs to support himself. So I don't get the hate. I don't get why people are so quick to get mad at content creators for full disclosure on an advertisement saying, hey, I'm getting paid to talk about this right now. I'm going to do that for my long-term sustainability on this platform. Because outside of that, a lot of viewers do not understand that content creators who do this full time, it is a very uneven ground that they walk on, where ad revenue from Google themselves, from YouTube, it could be here one day and gone the next. I mean, you could have some wild swings depending on how your videos do. So sponsored ads in videos give content creators more of a lifeline, more ground to stand on, a more basic income to be able to continue on the platform creating. I don't have an issue whatsoever with any content creator doing that. If they are big enough to get a sponsor to sponsor them and they're getting paid enough to do it, then hell yeah. Why should the viewers get mad at them for that? I don't understand it. Like, if Raid Shadow Legends wanted to sponsor me, I'd be like, sure, why not? Does it make me a sellout? No, it makes me a dude who's taking advantage of an opportunity that's fully legal and not actually bad. Like, I don't get it. I truly don't understand why it has such a negative connotation to all of it. Now, if there were something very deceptive about the game that took advantage of people, or like what happened with Philip DeFranco a few years ago when he was hawking that whole, what was it, like the Miracle, not the Miracle Network, but something like that, where it's like a psychological thing for like phone calls for people who were like having mental issues or something like that, anxiety and depression. And he was basically pumping that. And then it turned out that thing that he was trying to pump to people, the phones were filled with people who were not necessarily qualified to be talking about that stuff, and much greater concerns entered the picture at that point. So yes, you do have to be weary about who and what it is you are going to be hawking and sponsoring on your channel. I get that. But if it's a harmless game that is right in line with all the rest of the games that you're talking about all the time on your channel, I don't get what the problem is. I truly don't. Now, I do see there could be an issue with channels that just talk about games 24/7, but actually don't say that they're being sponsored or give full disclosures about it, when in reality that is what's happening. That's a problem. When channels turn into basically a full-time ad for game companies, or just talk about video games every single day because They're either being financially sponsored, they're getting some money based off of how many people download a game with their code in the description. They're getting free benefits going forward from it. There's a whole lot of things you need to concern yourself with video game channels that are strictly talking about video games all the time and growing, and they're making money off of it without telling their viewers what's actually happening. That I have more of an issue with. But Raid Shadow Legends is not a problem at all. Like, I don't get the issue with that. Now, I know a lot of people, a lot of viewers have been frustrated with how Raid Shadow Legends has gone about things, how they basically straight up lied on Twitter saying that they don't pay their creators for talking about the game, which was just absolutely hysterical to me, because yes, of course they pay people. I read that as it could have been misconstrued. Maybe what they meant by that tweet, responding to Tipster Gaming, was something along the lines of, we don't technically pay money, but we give money to the creators for every download or something like that. But I mean, it's at that point, it's splitting hairs on the terminology. Like, yeah, the creators are getting paid for talking about it. Otherwise, there's no reason the vast majority of creators out there would bother mentioning Raid Shadow Legends in their videos. Which, again, by the way, just because I'm talking about it, it is not being sponsored in this video. But, again, if Raid Shadow Legends were to come to me and say, hey, we want you to talk about Raid Shadow Legends, here's a bucket load of money for you to talk about it, go ahead and do it, I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? Make some extra money on my way to work. And, oh, by the way, I can still continue talking to my viewers afterwards about what I want to talk about. Yeah. Like, I don't get this whole pride thing that creators have. Like, going back to the roots of YouTube, I guess you could say. But the problem I have with all of this is Google and YouTube themselves put ads on videos, and they take 50% of the cut from it. And viewers are perfectly fine with that. I don't get that. Like, viewers who are upset at content creators for doing sponsored ads in their videos are the same ones that are perfectly okay with Google taking 50% of the ad revenue from AdSense on the videos that are put out there by these content creators. It's just funny to me. And if you remember back when ads first started on YouTube, there was huge backlash from them. There was a lot of viewers that did not want to accept advertisements on YouTube because it entered in a whole bunch of new questions going forward into the equation of YouTube that were never there previously, and it kind of changed the whole dynamic of everything. Now, this is going on a much grander scale, but as far as YouTube content creation goes, do I believe money should be involved with it? Yes and no. Like, I love the fact that YouTube is still here, it's still free, and people can still post whatever they want within reason under the guidelines of YouTube. It still has that. And you can still make videos and not put ads on them. You can still do the retro old school YouTube if you want to. That is there. So people who miss the old YouTube can't really complain because it's still there. Now, if there are content creators taking advantage of the new YouTube, that's a whole different story, but don't get mad at YouTube changing. The content creators are taking advantage of what's available to them at that point. Do I feel like money being involved in YouTubers' daily lives has changed how they go about making content? Yeah, of course. Of course it has. Always for the worse? Not always. Sometimes for the better. Here's the thing, with money being entered into the equation, people have been able to make YouTube a full-time sustainable career for those who've been successful with it. And they've been able to produce content for viewers that enjoy watching it. And without that income, they would need to go get a job and be unable to continue to make content. And this kind of goes back into a video I made previously talking about how content creators shouldn't all be full-time. I feel like there are some content creators out there that are taking full advantage of the system that is available to them and manipulating it to their advantage. Good for them. And hopefully people realize eventually that there's nothing really being provided outside of what they can search for online already. But at the same time, if there's a need for it, they've been filling it, and more power to them. I don't want to hate on them for their success. I'm not jealous. It's working. The problem is, it feels like they're squeezing a sponge dry sometimes instead of actually providing something of value, I guess. I mean, that sounds a little bit harsh, but this is getting into a whole different conversation. Going back to the original point of this video, I don't have an issue with Raid Shadow Legends whatsoever. I don't have an issue with content creators doing their research and understanding the product that they will be taking on and making money off of selling or making money off of promoting at the beginning, middle, or end of their video. It's their channel, it's their video, and they can do what they want. And then the way the world works with YouTube these days, nothing is guaranteed, and tomorrow certainly isn't, the way they change everything all the time. So yeah, take full advantage of what's available to you right now and run with it. Those are my thoughts on it. Anyways, I'm going to leave the video right there. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'm sure it'll be a very interesting comment section this time. That's all I got for you guys today. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.
Smash the J,